Hello, fellow Sanditonians, Theo junkies, and pineapple eaters everywhere. Welcome to the Sisters Sanditon, where today we will be reviewing episode 2 of the wonderful series Sanditon.
Yes, and I would like to introduce our special guest stars today.
Yes.
We have, of course, Mr. Theo James.
Yes.
And we also have Mr. Pineapple joining us today.
Lovely little pineapple. It just looks so delicious, doesn't
Yes.
it? Scrumptious.
Who, the Sydney or the pineapple?
Well, both, dear, both. Oh, yes, both.
Yeah.
It's scrumptious. Oh,
Yeah, take my fan.
Oh, thank you.
Well, this is a very special episode.
Yes.
Because this is when the entire universe is treated to its first glimpse of Sydney's
derriere? Buttocks? Bottom?
anterior.
Mr. Tushy? Hot cross buns? Honey buns?
Dear,
Buns of steel?
Dear, let me stop you there.
My new pillow? No, sorry.
What would Jane say?
Right.
Let's call it backside.
Oh, backside. And what a
Much
backside.
more ladylike.
What a backside it is, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, fan yourself.
Give me that.
Oh, well, yes. We shall get to the big moment shortly. But let's start out with some of the wonderful bits from this episode, shall we?
Yes. Juicy bits. Juicy pineapple
Yes.
bits, or not so juicy pineapple bits, as it was not juicy at all, but dried and
Right.
rotten, disgusting, as it turned out. Oh, how sad.
Now, at the beginning of the episode,
Yes.
we see Charlotte walk down the street
Yes.
after she's gone bathing.
Yes.
And
the
Sydney
sea. In the sea.
walks down.
Yes, Sydney is walking
But
out.
he doesn't see her.
No.
Now.
Now.
Now. Did he ignore her, or did he really not see
No,
her?
I don't believe he did ignore her, and here's why. I have watched and rewatched. I'm speaking in British accent again. I have watched and rewatched. Why not? I have watched and rewatched the episode over and over ad nauseum. No, ad nauseum. I could never be ad nauseum. I'm just kidding. That's just a turn of speech, dear. And I've watched, and I don't think he ever looks up. So therefore, I don't think he ever sees her and goes, I'm going to look closer the other way. It does look as though he's looking back, but to me, I just
Preoccupied.
preoccupied. I think perhaps he just doesn't want to see anyone. He just wants to be alone. He doesn't want to talk with anyone or see anyone, and just wants to go.
Yes, I agree.
Goodness knows where, I don't know.
I agree.
I should like to know where he's going, but I don't know.
So
Anyway.
should I. All right. And then in this episode, we're introduced to Miss Lamb.
Yes, dear Georgiana.
She's lovely, a lovely character.
She's lovely, but
things are so bad for her.
So bad. I feel
horrible,
so bad for her.
absolutely horrible. People are horrible to her, and she's really got it bad.
Yes.
But Charlotte's going to help her a little bit with that.
Yes.
All right. Well, speaking of Georgiana, let's talk about the church service where she sat in the pew as the reverend.
As the exotic flower.
Yes, and he made some very strange comments.
I'm sorry, that is the weirdest sermon I have ever been privy to hearing.
My husband was sitting next to me and said, "Is this a perv?" And I said,
"Is this a perv?"
Yes.
Yes, I think he is. Because in the next episode, remember, we'll talk about this later, but when when Georgiana is drawing, they're all drawing their portraits, and
she draws something scandalous.
We don't know.
Right.
And Mrs. Griffiths was freaking out.
But the Reverend can't take his eyes off it.
He could not avert his eyes.
Yes.
He was looking and looking and looking, and she kept saying, Mr. Henkin, cover your eyes. She had to tell him, turn away.
Yeah, so
I think
something is a little off with Reverend Hankins.
I don't appreciate the man.
No, I don't either.
All
right.
And Charlotte, Mary says, Charlotte, what did you think? And she goes,
yeah,
I didn't care for it at all.
No, she did not. And I love how, he talks about the lilies or the something and
the flowers.
Toiling.
Yes.
And then they'll be
plucked.
Oh,
they're just to sit and grow, and one day they shall be plucked.
Once again, another sexual innuendo.
Oh, yes.
And I think Davies likes those for some reason. I think they're too much.
Oh, dear.
And I don't think Jane would approve.
Let me bury my head in a teacup.
But anyway, I love how Charlotte says that she wants to be out toiling.
Yes.
She doesn't want to just sit and be a flower.
No. She doesn't want to sit idly by while others do the work. She wants to get in and get her hands dirty and work on things. She's interested in many things, architecture, as we see in a couple scenes. She doesn't want to just sit.
I love that about her. I love her character.
Yes.
All right, let's go on to Edward and Esther as they discuss the unfortunate incident in the...
Yes. It's alluded to at the church service, right? Because Charlotte sort of gives him the cold shoulder.
Right, and she says, what happened between you two?
But he tells her later.
What happened?
Once again,
TMI.
Just indeed, what happened?
Just in case
Just in
those viewers of us were still unsure as to what happened.
Just in case anyone was unsure.
Right. Now we are
He
sure.
did mention exactly what happened. Yes,
Yes.
I agree. It was a little TMI, dear. TMI.
Yes, to my
Yes.
chagrin. I did not care for
Yes.
it.
And,
But anyway.
we were trying to figure out what the actual goal was.
What is his goal?
What is his
with
end
Clara?
game? Yes.
Right? And people have talked about that on the Facebook pages. And she says, and Esther said, his job is to seduce and disgrace Clara.
Yes. His
So
job
what do you
is
make
to
of
seduce-
that?
Well, I don't think that what happened was supposed to happen. Because clearly, I mean, he said she initiated and she just did it. But, I mean, basing this upon Esther's reaction, she was shocked at what happened and she was disgusted at what happened. And not only is it just improper, but she loves him and doesn't want him being involved romantically
So it's
with
more
another
that
woman.
he's supposed to defame her
I
character
think, yes.
somehow by...
Which we mentioned in the last episode. Really, all that was needed was just an intimate conversation, and it might be, what are they doing
in the air, perhaps.
Yes, I mean, not too much was needed. I certainly don't think that was anticipated at all.
Uncalled for, I
But,
believe. I don't think Jane would be pleased at all.
Much.
But all right, let's move on.
Yes.
Then. Charlotte as Tom's assistant. Did you not love that?
I loved it. Yes, and
she
not
came
only
in and just took charge
Yes.
and showed that she's got a brain.
Yes.
She's organized. She knows architecture. All these wonderful
Yes.
things.
And she started laying out, here's what we have to do. We have to lay everything out according to, stacks of this and this. And he was just, you've got a head for this. You understand this. You know what and she said, why don't I be your assistant, basically?
And
which is great.
What a wonderful Austen heroine for us. I mean, she always gives us strong women characters, I think. But this took it to the next level for me. With
a little
the knowledge
extra
of
architecture.
More men's things.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Considered back then to be men's area. So I like that. And then that leads us right into the first meeting with Stringer.
Young Stringer. Yes, young Stringer. He's so adorable.
He is.
He's
but let
charming.
us just say that in any other world, without Sidney Parker, Theo James,
yes, Sidney.
he would have been just the love of our lives. Would he not have been? He
I
would
think
have been
you're
a
right.
perfect Austen hero for us, and we would have said to put him in. Oh, when's he going to be in everything?
Yes.
He's gorgeous, right?
He is.
We would have
He's
loved
so
him.
gorgeous. His curly hair and
when
he's got
placed
that smile.
next to Theo, he just pales in comparison. For me.
Well, and I think it goes sort of back to the bad boy versus the good boy. And, I mean, Sidney's not necessarily a bad boy. We know he's got a good heart and all that, but Sidney's a little more driven. And he's a stronger character. We see throughout the series Charlotte kind of encouraging Stringer to go out and make something of himself. And he really doesn't yet, you know, and I mean, I just don't know if he's got that same gumption that Charlotte has. I don't think they're quite.
Just already
I think
taken,
she's a little too strong for him.
She's taken as well with him. I mean,
and she's
we
already
see right
seen
there.
it,
She meets him, and he falls for her real quick. You can just tell instantaneously.
And
but she wants, she's
nice to
polite,
him.
but she has no idea that
clue.
she's on his radar.
Not a clue.
Right? We'll see that in another episode too.
Yes.
But she sees Sidney arrive, right? And she's like,
I'm
out of here.
Right down that scaffolding, runs to his side.
Goodbye. What was your name? Stringer.
Stringer. Yes.
So she's already got her sights set on Sidney, even with all of his bad points.
And are we going on to the talk between Sidney and Charlotte now?
Yes.
Okay.
Why not?
And why not? I say. So she runs down to apologize yet again.
Yeah.
She's already apologized to him, but she really wants to apologize. She really wants to get in his good graces.
Yes.
And I think because she likes him and she wants him to like her and think
well
of her and that's important to her and she goes on to say I didn't mean it. I really do love Tom. I have the greatest admiration for what he's doing here in Sanditon. She really does. She wants to be part of the work.
Yeah.
She's told everyone she loves what's happening there, the building of a new town. It's exciting to her.
Yes.
She loves him. She thinks highly of him and
he is
I hope you won't think too badly of me.
Throws it right back in her face.
I don't think anything of you.
What is the worst thing that a man could tell you? A man that you like, right? That he doesn't even know you exist.
Yes, that he doesn't give you a second thought.
Oh, that was cruel.
Cold.
That was so cruel.
Cold. And
But Did she snivel and cry and
No.
walk off with her head between her? No.
And I think that's what he wanted her to do.
Yes.
Because he saw her do that on the balcony.
Yes.
He just wanted to do it again. Just run away and cry. You're just a little nobody from nowhere, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's trying to push her away.
Right.
We've established he's trying to push her away. He doesn't want to be involved, even though he he thinks she's pretty and all that.
But she doesn't. She comes back.
Not this time. She
right.
says,
I like the little head. What was that you were doing? Yeah.
well, if you really don't care, I wonder that you take so much trouble to be quite so offensive and hurtful. I mean, it's like, it's like we say, methinkest thou dost protesteth too much.
Yes.
If he really didn't care, why take so much trouble to just
so
go
rude.
out of his way
Yes.
to just tell her, I don't think if you were told.
Exactly.
Have I made myself clear? You know, very clear,
I
you know.
think in fact, that's showing us he does think about her.
He does.
Yes.
And when she says, good day, and turns on her heels like, fine, if you're so mean. I think we see him kind of go, oh, she's got a bit of spark, a little spunk. I think he likes that little bit of pizzazz that she shows him instead of cowering away like a flower, like a wilted flower.
Well, let's talk about Sydney in this episode.
Yes.
They have set him up. Everything in this episode has set him up to look like the bad boy.
Yes.
And they want him to look like that so that we see the progression. And if you watch these two episodes like we have done over and over again, you will see a huge progression between episode 2 to episode 3.
And episode 3, we'll talk about, is a huge turning point for him. And yes, he's
But this
smoking,
whole episode, they want him to be bad boy.
all
Smoking
the time.
all the time.
He's drinking all the time.
Dang good doing it.
Now stop it. Now
Yeah.
stop it.
Not that I am not a proponent of smoking.
We are not proponent
No.
of tobacco use. No, but yes, he does look sexy. He's got that little stick, you know. Anyway, and he stands there, you know. But he's gambling.
Yes.
He's upping the stakes. Raise the stakes, he says. Raise the bet.
Yes.
He's drinking.
And he's boxing.
He's boxing. Where did that come from? There he is. He's being called.
To add to this persona.
Just to add to that. Why not?
And who doesn't have a man that can box, I guess? I mean, he can protect you, right?
There, yes.
Which he
Why
does
not?
later.
He does.
He uses
protect
those
her
boxing
later.
skills,
You're
doesn't he?
right. So they do come in handy, and of course, who doesn't love another excuse to see Sydney without his shirt on? Right, ladies? Am I right? Comment.
dear.
What do you think?
Take my fan again. Yes. You need to get yourself your own.
I need my own fan. Yes. Excuse me.
Well, anyway, he is the quintessential bad boy in this episode.
Yes, in this episode for
also
sure.
he passes by Arthur in a carriage. So rude.
Oh, he's so
and
mean.
You know, it's like he's driving reckless.
Yes, and
all
he's driving. That's another thing. Did you notice his servant's just sitting right next to him?
Yeah.
And he's driving as fast as he can. His poor brother and sister, Arthur and Diana,
Puffing
are like,
and puffing.
I do say, do you have room for us? Can't stop now. I'll think about it. Just run
And I remember, if you just watch it through each episode, I thought, what a jerk. But now that I've gone back and watched, I see that they want to show that he's this bad boy and he's concerned about himself only.
Which is what Charlotte tells him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I loved all that because
Yes.
it really then shows us the difference,
The
change
contrast.
that happens.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Let's talk about Babington and his
Yes.
sweet compliments.
Oh, Babington. He ended up being so adorably sexy in this when he was like, oh, your hair is just so... I mean, he does not shy away from being super bold in his comments and compliments
that's
to
right.
Esther.
Exactly.
I mean, it's almost scandalous when he's like, what does he say? My
Yes.
goodness, I've never seen your hair shine.
Right.
I mean, it's just
That's
like...
right. That's correct.
It's so forward.
And she is in her pajamas again.
Yes,
Why? Why is she constantly in her pajamas? I don't know. In a nightgown with her hair down. You would not
so
accept
unseemly.
male callers
Yes.
coming to the house
to
wearing
receive
that. No.
receive any caller in your boudoir set, your
Right.
pajamas, your robe, her hair's down, which her hair does look beautiful, but
Yes.
it just
No.
it's so odd.
That would have been inappropriate.
It's
Jane
very
would not
odd.
have done that.
But Jane-
No.
Pish posh. Yes.
No.
No. But anyway,
But anyway, that's fine. We'll go with
Babington
it.
doesn't seem to mind.
No, he doesn't seem to mind. Exactly.
But when he compliments her hair, then it's so weird. It's like you said, she almost wants him to see that there's something going on with her brother, which is super scandalous. It's like they don't want anybody to see, but oh, well, see, my dear brother, your
And he's
efforts
like,
have not gone in vain.
Your brother combs your hair?
Which is very odd.
Okay.
Well, she doesn't. I guess she doesn't have a maid to do it. I don't know. Maybe
she
perhaps
did.
She does.
She
Well, then-
does, of course.
So that's even weirder.
Yeah.
But then Babington is like, well, I would gladly, take over that job.
Yes.
And he's just very
Yeah.
charming. I shan't
Charming.
be put off.
That's
I mean,
right.
it's
I shan't be put off.
It's
I love
wonderful.
That line.
He's becoming a very endearing character,
Yes.
a lovable guy. Yes.
He's wonderful. All right, let's go on to the pineapple party.
Oh, the luncheon and pineapple
party.
tasting. Oh,
what a glorious scene, right?
Yes,
so much going on,
yes.
so much happening, action, dialogue.
And one of my favorite parts was when she gets the pineapple, you know, and
Yeah.
Clara brings it to her, to Lady D, and Clara's like, what is it, a bomb? It's like, there's a lot of like Jane Austen type humor here, I think, really funny and silly.
I love it.
Yes.
But when we start out that pineapple scene, we have that dialogue between Esther and Clara, which is kind of dark. I don't like that part. It almost takes it,
talking about...
She's been abused in her past, obviously.
Yes, it seems like she has. It's a little dark.
Yeah, I could have done without that.
Yeah.
But...
Heavy stuff.
Yeah, and so we see kind of, she's had a very rough past, which is why she is the way she is.
And when Edward was telling Esther about it, he said she was not a novice.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
so she's had some bad stuff.
She's not afraid to do whatever she thinks it's going to take to get the money. She wants the inheritance.
Someone is now mowing their lawn. How rude!
I hear
Ignore the lawnmower that you
If you
hear
can
in the
hear the
background.
lawnmower, it's not us.
All right, let's go on. What about, she talks about Miss Lamb, right? Having 100,000 pounds and must be in want of a husband, and that is a wonderful throwback to Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, a little ode to Pride and Prejudice, where the first line of the book, and I think it's in every movie probably.
Yes.
A single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. Of course,
So I love that.
It's interesting how it's reversed.
Right.
It's the woman.
She's the one with the fortune, which is
and in
really cool.
both instances, later too. Yeah, the women.
And then, of course, Edward is supposed to. He's been coached by Lady D.
Yes.
He better get in there and get the job done.
Yes.
And he fails miserably.
Again, he's just a clod. He just doesn't know what to say.
Pathetic.
But she also sees right through him and can see how insincere he is and goes, oh, why do you want to sit by me? Just for my money. You just want my money. And he just doesn't even know what to say.
And he brings up the poetry again.
Who's your favorite poet?
Try a different line, please.
So funny.
But
And Lady D, I think, as watching that and is getting more incensed with every word.
And she takes matters into her own hands.
Yes.
So, do you want to marry him or not? What do you think?
Here you go. You have a fortune. He's got a title. What more could you want?
She's so great.
Yes. But then Charlotte throws in some great lines about how, an unhappy marriage could be a kind of slavery. And it's just, it's very...
But we see that Lady D is hilarious and funny, she also has...
mean.
She's horrible.
She's
stuff
horrible
she says to Georgiana. And do you know what I believe? When I saw Arthur pick up the pineapple and cut it open and say, rotten to the core, I believe that was to get us to look at Lady D and be like, she was just rotten. She was being rotten in at least that section,
Yes. And the pineapple, everyone thought was it's so exciting. And she's real showy and she tries to be, I'm throwing you a luncheon, aren't I nice? It's in your honor. It was really like Georgiana said, she's just wanting to parade me around and show me off, and I don't want to do, she didn't want to be there, and she was just so rude to her, and everything she said was just so rude. I probably would have gotten up and left if it had been me. Georgiana, I thought, was way easy on her. Way easy. She was.
She really kept her cool. I'd have been,
Yes, she was.
Some profanities would have been thrown.
Just might have escaped. Yes, your lips. Yes. Yes, she was. She took it very gracefully.
She did. All right, let's talk about Charlotte and Sidney.
Oh, well, they were seated together. How fortuitous.
Yes. And they have a great feisty dialogue.
They have a lovely, they have a lovely time there.
So he tries to ask her opinion again.
And I think he might be trying to sort of, in his own ridiculous way, present her with an olive branch. Yes, his olive branch. I think he dished her up some soup or whatever it was, gave it to her. I thought, okay, he's being nice, and she was sitting there, and he's like, oh, well, what do you think about all that?
And she's like, I'm
going to give you my opinion again?
Yeah.
And what does she say? I've already endured 2 tongue lashings for you. I will not court a third.
That's
please, I'm going to fall for this again and just have you make fun of me. And she just put him in his place, and I think he liked it.
I think he did.
He liked it.
He did. I think that's one of the things that intrigues him about her.
When she shows her independence and her spunk.
And her wit,
Yes, because that's not what he's used to. And she knows it. And everyone has kind of commented on, well, you're very free with your opinions. And she's not afraid to speak up.
And just like she went and apologized to him, and he threw it back in her face, she's given him a little bit of her.
She got a little of her own back.
That's right.
Yes, she did.
He tries to apologize, and she says,
you're right, I'm sorry.
Try it with somebody else.
Yeah, she goes, she says, why not try and be civil? And he goes, you're right. And she's like, not with me, a little late. she turns immediately.
Talk to the hand.
Mr. Crow, you know, and he's just like.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was great. I loved that.
Yes.
Loved
and
that
then
scene.
later, though, they engage again a little bit. You know, when she said, "What do you think, Mr. Parker?"
Right.
She tries to see what he's going to say.
Right.
He doesn't really say
and
anything.
he shies away from it, which I was disappointed in him.
A little bit.
He's not grown and mature
Not
enough
yet.
yet.
Not
you know?
yet.
But sweet Arthur, he sticks up for her.
Yes.
And Charlotte sticks up for Georgiana too.
And when Lady D asks Charlotte, you know, so what about you? She turns her aggression towards Charlotte. Then lays off Georgiana for a minute and says, "What about you? Are you still pretending that you're not here to get some rich husband?" And you know, I was watching this and rewatching it. And I was watching.
We do a lot of watching.
We do a lot of watching and rewatching. Yes, and I was watching Sydney the whole time.
Poor husband.
My poor husband. I love him to death. I love my husband very, very much. Ladies, let it be known. He's my own Sydney. Anyway, so I was watching Sydney, and Sydney's reaction to her saying, "Oh, I'm not here for a husband at all." That surprised him. I saw that. Yes. He was going...
In a day and age when everyone is out to get married
a husband.
For what they can get out
Which
of it,
is why Lady D doesn't believe her.
Yeah.
That's like what people do, right?
Of course. Right.
Well, even Sydney accused her of that on the balcony. You're just waiting at home for some man to come and take you off your father's hands. Yep. That's kind of what happened. And so she was, you know, saying, and even if I were looking for a husband, money certainly wouldn't come into it.
Yeah.
And
that was great.
And Sydney was like,
yeah.
Which was shocking to him because I think not only is it different, you know, in that day and age, but it's very different from what he experienced, which, as we learn later,
he got dissed for
somebody with the money.
Right.
So
and he does one of his signature jaw clenches in this scene.
The jaw clench.
The jaw clench.
I can't do it. I wish I could do it.
I can't do it either.
No, I can't.
And then, so let's see. We talked about how Arthur sticks up for Miss Lamb. Okay, let's move on then. Shall we move on to the pub scene?
Yes, the pub scene between Crow, Babington, and Sydney.
Yes.
When they're all discussing
Once
the
again,
ladies.
We've got Sydney as the bad boy, carousing, smoking, drinking, gambling.
But compared to Crow, he's like a saint.
Yeah.
He's a saint. I mean, Crow is like, "Oh, I can see you with Miss Denham. You take her in hand." He's like, "She's not a horse. Like, she's not a horse or a dog. I'm not gonna take her by the lead. What are you talking about?" And I think that shows Crow is a pig, and I think that shows that Babington is not. Right there, we know. Okay, Babington is a good one. He's like, "What are you talking about? Right. She's a lady. Like, I'm not going to do that."
Yes,
he cares for her, and he's sweet.
And then he does the same thing to Sydney. Starts making remarks about
Charlotte, which
and then took it even further.
Yes, which at this point Sydney couldn't really say much about Charlotte, but you could see there was a little. You know, he looked up and was kind of like,
the eye things that he does.
Like, not sure how I feel about this, you know. But then, then
he takes it further to Georgiana, and then Sydney
made a really lewd comment about her. Yeah. Yes, and then Sydney got really enraged, and then the guys were like, "Whoa, what's going on between you and her? Right. What is the deal there?" So I think they don't even really know like what all that. I guess Sydney's pretty close-lipped.
Yeah, they don't know maybe the whole story.
Yeah,
they finally ask him, right?
They
what
say,
is she?
"What's going on?"
He says in a sentence, in a nutshell, basically, "She's my ward.
That's it, and I don't want it." Yeah, right.
So then he takes his little break. He says he needs to go out and get
some exercise or fresh air,
brisk exercise, something. We don't at that time know what is in store.
Just what he had in mind.
Right. And then we also in this episode see the horrible pain that Georgiana goes through with the coach scene.
Oh, I just feel so bad for her. I was just on the brink of
mom.
tears.
It's
it's almost like a mob. You know? Yeah. And she's just trying to get out of there. She just wants to leave.
Yeah. And I believe that she was on the verge of suicide. I don't know.
She was going to jump. I think she was. I mean, you
felt
could just see
just
the tears,
anguish on her face.
The despair.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Yeah,
so anyway, she's on the cliffside, and Charlotte comes to her and kind of talks her off the cliff in a word.
And they have sort of commonality where they're sort of both outsiders. Charlotte still feels like she doesn't really fit in either.
Right. And they have a nice moment there. Yeah. And then they take that moment further and they have that really fun
paddling. Shall we paddle?
Yes.
So sweet.
That was so cute.
Yes.
And it looked like they just really had fun together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You could just see it.
Yeah.
So I love that interchange.
I think Georgiana mentions later, like, this was the most fun, or the only fun time I've had since, you know, whenever.
Right.
That was kind of turned her around. I think that she saw, now I have a bosom buddy.
That's somebody that I can get through this.
Yeah.
So I love that. And then Mrs. Griffiths comes, though, and ruins everything again for them and interrupts
it. And Georgiana's fiery little spirit comes out. She takes her parasol, throws it right down.
Yes.
I love when she did that.
And Mrs. Griffiths chides them for showing their ankles
pulling
up their skirts.
Scandalous. What if someone had come and seen and
they would have been scandalized to have their ankles show. That's why it doesn't fit when Esther is laying around in her nightgown, her, lingerie for all to see.
Yeah,
so
there may be some
inconsistencies maybe in are we Jane Austen or are we not?
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's a combination. We are Jane, but we aren't Jane.
Yes.
In some instances.
Yes.
Okay, so let us go to the final scene then.
Charlotte
is innocently walking,
gathering seashells by the sea. Yes, she's gathering the seashells and collecting.
She sees a pile of clothes, and we start to think, ooh,
who do these belong
what is to come next?
And then we see her look, and who should come rising out of the depths like Neptune himself? Triton, Neptune, god of the sea. Triton.
I don't know, one of the gods.
Greek. Who cares? He was hot.
Let me get my phone. Get a drink.
He was hot and naked. Oh.
Can we say that on this show?
Well, anyway. PG-13.
Yes.
The kiddies are asleep. Now listen. He came out. I don't think she saw anything but from the waist up.
Lord, I hope not.
Lord help us. I think if she had, she'd have fainted right then and there.
Yes.
Right down to the sand in a big heap.
Yes.
Yes, she didn't see anything, but that was enough.
Yeah, that was enough. And they have a very fun exchange here. Flirty.
And he says again, which he's said they've had several little exchanges throughout the episode of here you are again, and here you are again. She keeps popping up unwanted anywhere he is. She's there.
In the wrong place.
They run into each other. Yeah, they run into each other around the corner.
Yes.
Miss Hayward, here you are again. Miss Hayward, popping up again. I see. I mean, it just keeps happening. It's quite funny. It's kind of like a running joke at this point that they keep running into each other.
Right.
And so here they are. He thought he was alone.
Yeah.
And Miss Hayward, here you are again. I see. I cannot escape you. And she goes, believe me. This, chasing.
And it's true. She did not mean to be
the
there.
last person I wanted to see. And
he
did, and he was gracious again. I think he's, it was almost joking. He's like, here you are again.
Yes.
Right. And he said, you're right. Forgive me. And he asked her, to forgive him. And she was just like, I gotta get out of here.
Get the heck out of Dodge. Yeah. She was like,
let me out of here. She was sweating under her.
Yes. She went running.
Yes.
But I thought I detected a little bit of a smile on her face as she ran. Terror and smile mixed at the same time. That's my opinion.
Sheer terror, sheer joy, who knows? Yes. I mean, I'm sure she was experiencing all the feels.
Yes. As we all would.
I mean, as we all were, except those of you in the UK were probably experiencing it
more
to greater heights. Even than
those of us in the US.
Who did not get to see his.
So, there's a lot of controversy over what was seen in the US versus what was seen in the UK.
Yes.
Now, for some reason, those Brits are more...
Despite the fact that they showed us Tom's, Arthur's, and Edward Denham's rear ends.
Which I didn't care to see.
Running down the beach. We didn't really care. I mean, Edward was, nothing shabby to look at, but, I mean, we didn't really care about them so much. We wanted, Sydney is our hero.
Yeah.
Sydney is the leading man. And they just deprived us.
Yes.
I don't know why. Why am I shouting? I'm getting very heated about it. I'm very put out. Give me the span.
Well, anyway, yes, the UK version gave us a lot more exposure than the US version.
Yes.
So people are on Facebook and they're
the number
posting...
one comment, why haven't we seen Sydney's bottom?
They're posting side-by-side videos
side by
of the
side
US
clips.
and the UK, and everyone is running out and investing in the UK version. No matter the cost. If it's 10 times more, they'll pay it.
If Sydney's bottom is on view, we shall pay. Oh dear, that sounds very raunchy. Excuse me, I don't mean that at all.
We need to end this.
We must end while we still have some dignity left.
Yes.
No.
It's been lovely, ladies. Yes. Thank you.
It's
we
been
hope
delightful.
you have enjoyed this as much as we have.
Yes, and we want to remind you, we shall be back next week, hopefully.
Episode 3.
If we have recovered.
Maybe sooner.
If we can recover from the sight of Sydney's backside.
Yes.
With our review of episode 3, which will be
Run
very
out there, ladies, and buy your UK version.
Yes.
You will not be disappointed.
Now next week, episode 3, we shall see Sydney smile with teeth. The pearlies.
Yes.
Yes.
So get ready.
Finally.
It's another epic episode.
Yes. Where Charlotte and him are very friendly.
Yes. Very friendly.
Yes.
Very friendly. All right, ladies. Enjoy.
Bye. Hello, fellow Sanditonians, Theo James lovers, and Pineapple eaters. Today, on the Sisters Sanditon, we will be reviewing episode 2. How do you like them apples? Or pineapples in this case. Let's wait, say it again.
Sanditonians, Theo Junkies, Pineapple Eaters.
Next time I'll write my own script.
Welcome to the...
Hello, fellow Sanditonians, Theo Junkies, and Pineapple Eaters. Something about today.
Everywhere! Pineapple
Eaters everywhere! Oh, Lord, help me. He had the effrontery to handle my pineapple.